Hello, fellow grumpy old men on film. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. I'm the last one to post a video on James' birth year, 1974. The films that I've watched and loved from the year 1974. The year James was born, Richard Nixon resigned because James was born. Nixon said, "I can't have any of this. I'm getting out of office." So, not true, but a good year in film. 1981, which we did with Ian's last week, and 1974 this week. Good years in films. So at least there's good things about this doing this, and actually discovering other films that I looked up on Google and in the Wikipedia of films in 1974. Some of the ones that I had forgotten, and there was a lot of them there that I put on the list to watch or purchase down the line that I never remembered. So it's a good thing that we do this because it actually does help and heighten your movie knowledge experience. So 74. Oh God, let me see. I was about 7, 8 years old when James was born. So, but I do remember some of these films. Matter of fact, I've seen one of them in the movie theater. But these are the top 10 favorite films from that year, and everybody's list has this film because it had to be the most popular film from 1974. Mel Brooks' Blazing Saddles, with Cleavon Little, Gene Wilder, Harvey Korman, Madeline Kahn, Slim Pickens, of course. This darn wind chime getting on my nerves. As Jay said, a lot of people said this is a movie that they couldn't make today because people had balls back then. Women had cojones. People could take a sense of humor and laugh about themselves, and that's basically what that whole film is about. This is laughing at each other and have fun with it. Nowadays, people get too bent out of shape. It's not politically correct. This film still holds up to this day, though. I mean, I can watch it anytime and still laugh my ass off watching it. Some parts, I never liked the N-word, never used it. And no matter what context it's used, I don't like it. And even in this film, that's the only thing that bothered me was that because of that word. Because I just don't, I associate it with hate. But man, it is a funny movie. Besides that, it is a funny movie. And in watching it on network television, it was heavily edited. Jay had mentioned this; it was heavily edited film. And when I got the DVD, I had because some of the scenes on TV, I didn't. When I got the DVD, I said, "Well, this was never in this. What's up with that?" And then when you look at the bonus features, the scenes that they actually had on network TV were included as bonus that replaced the ones that were in the film. So anyway, the theatrical film. So Blazing Saddles is my top pick. Another Mel Brooks film from that year, another one on everybody's list: Young Frankenstein, Gene Wilder, Peter Boyle, Marty Feldman, Madeline Kahn, Cloris Leachman, Terry Garr, Gene Hackman. And to this day, I can always remember Young Frankenstein, me and my mother watching it, and at the end of that movie, or towards the end of the movie, Madeline Kahn and the monster are laying in bed after he got a normal brain, not the Abby normal brain. Laying in bed, I guess they were having sex, and she starts doing that high pitched opera. My mother laughing so loud. I can still remember that laugh to this day. Good Times, Young Frankenstein, uh, Frankenstein. Marty Feldman was a trip in that movie. Just crazy. Mel Brooks, 1974 was a big year for him. He was on a roll. Um, this one here, the third one I've seen in the movie theater with my brother Patrick. It was in Long Beach, New York, and it was in an old movie house. It had a balcony in it. The only time I've been in a movie where I actually sat in the balcony, I sat in the balcony with my brother, and he's the one who used to take me to the movies all the time. He took my first movie, which is Charlotte's Web at Radio City Music Hall, but at this time we went and seen The Towering Inferno, and Irwin Allen film with Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, Fred Astaire in it, Faye Dunaway, William Holden. Cast of characters, big cast of characters, a lot of actors and actresses in this film, and I remember going to the theater and we went upstairs to the balcony because you could choose where you sit. There wasn't no extra money or anything like that. And I said, well, let's sit in the balcony. I never sat in the balcony. It'd be interesting. Which it was pretty cool. We were about the only ones up there. But I remember that it was it was like an old movie palace type thing. And I remember the paint coming off the wall. It was chipping off the wall and stuff like that. And the carpet was all nasty. And it was in total disrepair. I need to go look and see if that movie theater's still standing or they torn it down. I believe they torn it down, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, Towering Inferno, great film. If you haven't watched it, you need to. OJ's in it before he became a murderer. You didn't hear that from me. Next one is a movie that I didn't hear anybody talk about. And I remember this because I was in school and some students did and we're talking elementary school now. They did a project where they had the old home camera, movie cameras, 16 or 8 millimeter cameras, and they did a thing of themselves and then took parts of the movie and added it in. No sound whatsoever to this. But anyways, I remember it, watching it, and I remember watching it on TV. It was The Lords of Flatbush, which starred Henry Winkler, the Fonz, Sylvester Stallone, Susan Blakely, and Martin Davidson directed it with Stephen F. Verona. I have this on DVD somewhere in one of my movie books. Lords of Flatbush. It's a coming-age film where they all wear leather jackets. They're tough, hanging out at school. It's been a long, long time since I watched it, so I might have to dig that out of the movie books. But The Lords of Flatbush came out in 1974. Number 5, a Roman Polanski film called Chinatown, which was on everybody else's list with Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway, John Huston, Diane Ladd. Great film. Didn't get to watch it until I bought the Steelbook. I did a Steelbook video, or one of my videos I got. I bought a couple years back, and I did a video about a week or so ago showing it. That was the first time I actually watched Chinatown. I watched the sequel before I even watched that. Two Jakes was the sequel, and I remember watching that on HBO back in 80s or 90s, something like that. Number 6 on everybody else's list too. This is just so repetitive, but Death Wish, directed by Michael Wimmer, Charles Bronson, Vincent Gardino. Everybody knows that film. Stay away from the Bruce Willis remake. Nothing. Bronson kicks its ass. Number 7, Foxy Brown. Just watched this for the first time about a month or so ago, and I was watching a bunch of blaxploitation films. Pam Grier, who was in Jackie Brown, Antonio Fargas, who was also in Cornbread Earl and Me, and Terry Brown. Great blaxploitation film. There was a sequel to this and I watched it. Uh, Coffee was the name of the movie, Coffee, which was it was supposed to be a sequel, but then it wound up being its own movie. Uh, Need to catch it. It's a good film. Not bad. Number 8, Harry and Tonto. Not because my name's Harry. Um, Directed by Paul Mazursky, Art Carney, Ellen Burstyn, Larry Hagman's in the film. About a man traveling on a bus going cross country with his cat. They're going to Los Angeles. From New York to Los Angeles. Very good film. I have that on DVD. Number 9. The Taking of Pelham 123. Joseph Sargent, directed by Joseph Sargent, Walter Matthau, Robert Shaw, Martin Balsam, and Jerry Stiller. Ben Stiller's dad's in this movie. The remake was made early 2000s with John Travolta. Stick with the original. I prefer that. Denzel Washington. I like the remake, but I prefer the original because it shows old New York. And that's how I remember New York in the 70s. It was my time being in New York was in the 70s. And that's, anytime I watch a film from that, like Taxi Driver or Annie Hall, it brings back a lot of memories. Number 10, The Front Page. The remake of a remake of a remake. Front Page is a Billy Wilder film, directed by Billy Wilder, starring Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. Susan Sarandon and Carol Burnett are in the film. It's a remake of a film called The Front Page, which was remade with Cary Grant in 1940 with Cary Grant, Rosalind Russell as his girl Friday. About two newspaper men. Walter Matthau plays Burns, the editor of the newspaper. And Hildy is played by Jack Lemmon, who is getting married. He's given up the newspaper business. There's a guy who murdered a black man during an election year. A cop killed not a cop. A man killed a black man, and they were going to hang him because they needed the black vote. And the guy escapes, and they try to help him, but he was being framed because they were giving him a pardon, and the mayor and the police chief were trying to hide the pardon away. This is a comedy, black comedy, not the best of the 3 films that were made of this, but it still holds up. It's funny. I shouldn't say it still holds up. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's still funny to me, anyways. It was always good to see Matthau and Lemmon on screen. Whoops, sorry. And those are my top films from 1974. I rambled on enough. Y'all be safe out there. Thank you for watching. Bye.